The Earth has turned into a junkyard. Slums are everywhere, even the big cities. People are deprived of equal rights, left as third-class citizens on Earth. Second class are robot police, and first class are the wealthy. They have long built a massive orbiting space station in space. There, they have simulated gravity, fresh air, and a complete and clean ecosystem. Even if someone gets cancer, they recover in medbase just with a lie down. This world has a well-deserved name, Elysium. Hi everyone, welcome to Happy Movie. Today, let's watch a movie, Elysium. Elysium is an American dystopian science fiction action film written, produced, and directed by Neil Blomkamp. In 2154, Earth is overpopulated, diseased, and largely polluted. Los Angeles has also become a slum. People here commit crime and drink excessively. Those who work will be laughed. Max used to be a criminal too. Now he has fallen to being a factory worker. When he just leaves his home, some poor kids try to rob him. He turns the tables, shaking down money from the kids, making them rob each other. Max was just like them when he was just a kid. He also grew up from this stage, taking a rundown bus to work in the factory. The queue is long. Robot police officers search everyone, being particularly rough on those with criminal backgrounds. Unfortunately, Max is on probation and mouths off to the officer. The officer judges him for disobedience and beats him. Everything is thrown on the ground, and no issues are found. The actions are legal and in compliance because Earth follows a zero-tolerance policy. They order Max to go to his parole officer immediately. The parole office is overcrowded with people. Max finally reaches his parole officer. The officer is an emotionless robot, accusing Max of disobedience this morning. The parole period is extended by 8 months. Max wants to explain, but the parole officer doesn't want to hear it. This is just because it's not necessary, not because the robot lacks intelligence. He can even sense Max's dissatisfaction. He warns Max that insulting the parole officer is a serious crime. Max can only disappointingly return to work due to the morning incident. He's late and loses half a day's pay. The assembly line is crowded, but the broadcast promotes cleanliness. The only clean place in the entire factory is the CEO's room. He is a first-class citizen of Elysium, but due to the recent industrial downturn, he has to supervise on Earth. Max's job is to screw and send a product to the high heat room for heating. The product is robot police, the police which just defeated him. Life is difficult. Others also don't like it and want to sneak into Elysium. Today, while Max is screwing in screws, a hacker begins the action. Under normal circumstances, Earth's airspace is controlled by a no-fly system. Civilian ships can't take off, but the hacker has a way. After cracking it, the smuggler ship can take off. They give all the smugglers fake citizen codes. Every Elysium citizen has this code for identification. 3 smuggling ships take off in chaos, heading straight to space. Elysium detects these unwelcome guests and sounds the alarm. The Minister of Defense immediately responds. According to the procedure, the first step is to broadcast a warning, but the smugglers refuse any response. Under normal circumstances, the next process must be followed, but the Minister of Defense directly and illegally activates an agent. This person is mentally unstable but powerful. He is deployed by the Minister of Defense on Earth. He pulls out a missile launcher and fires at the smuggling ship. The first 3 shots destroy 2 ships, but the last one evades. The third smuggling ship breaks through the atmosphere of Elysium and lands successfully. The smugglers swarm into the community. The rich fled at the site, and the Minister of Defense dispatched robots to capture them. Most of the illegal immigrants were arrested on the spot. Only a mother breaks into a rich person's house. The girl is terminally ill and cannot be treated on Earth. She can only rely on the med base here. Her fake citizen code deceived the system, and her body was reconstructed. Although she will eventually be captured, at least she received treatment. The Minister of Defense confirms the capture of all refugees. They are immediately sent back to Earth on a spaceship. In her eyes, refugees are a plague and must be dealt with decisively. The Minister of Defense just breathed a sigh of relief when she learned that the President wanted to see her. The President criticized her for being too cruel to refugees. The Minister of Defense is unapologetic. She asserts that it is to defend the homeland and protect citizens. Refugees are disobedient, and force must be used to repel them. The President warns that if she acts like this again, she will be dismissed. The ideological gap between the 2 sides is growing. She can't help but have an idea. On Max's side, his life these days is repetitive. Just work and get off work. But today, when he was heating up a robot, the heating chamber's door got stuck. The supervisor was furious that he slowed down the entire production line. He leaned in to see and found that a board was blocking the door. He stuck his head in, though it was dangerous. But the supervisor's order was even more dangerous. He ordered Max to crawl in, or he would be fired. Max needed this job too much, so he had no choice but to go in. The board was tricky to push. Suddenly, the chamber door closed, but Max was still inside. He suffered from fatal radiation and convulsed. Other workers rushed to save him, but the supervisor was afraid that this would spread radiation and ordered everyone to disperse. By the time Max woke up, he was already locked in an isolation room. The robot calmly explained, "You have received a lethal dose of radiation, and your organs will fail in 5 days." When the CEO heard the news, his first question was, "Why is the production line stopped?" When he heard that Max had been exposed to radiation, he only worried that Max's skin would peel off and damage the sheets. His indifference showed that he did not consider employees as human beings. The robot brought Max medicine. This could keep his organs functioning normally before his death, but he would still die in 5 days. Max, weak and vomiting, returned to the slums. He knew that he could only use the med bays of Elysium to survive. To get there, he could only use a hacker's smuggled spaceship. He sought a hacker for a ticket. The hacker laughed. Who doesn't want a ticket? Everyone is asking for one, but not many can afford it. Max, desperate, went all out. After all, not going all out would mean death. While fate deprived him of his life, it also endowed him with a unique trait, fearless of death. The hacker realized that he was truly doomed and began to treat him better. He ordered his subordinates to step back and negotiated a deal with Max. Most billionaires are on Elysium, but some stay on Earth. The hacker wanted to perform a brain heist on him. This is the most cyberpunk crime of modern times. The hacker wanted to steal data from his brain, such as bank account numbers, passwords, and other vital data. These things are worth billions. All Max has to do is modify his brain to become a data USB drive, and then import the billionaire's brain data into his own. Due to Max being too weak to handle the task, the hacker provides him with a new generation of exoskeleton armor, which will make him become as strong as a robot. Max has no choice but to accept. However, he still sets several rules. One of them is that the target of the robbery must be the CEO of his company, John. He wants to seek revenge against him. The hacker has no objections. After all, robbing anyone is the same to him. He performs surgery to modify Max. Max survives the surgery and becomes as powerful as a superhero. While Max is preparing for the robbery, John is planning a conspiracy. As defense minister, and the president's conflict is irreconcilable. The defense minister thinks, I cannot defend the space station with these cowards. So, she plans a coup. Elysium's military is highly electronic. Missiles, robots, everything is under system control. Seizing power requires seizing the system first. The defense minister finds John. Not only can he run a factory, but he is also the builder of Elysium and can reset the system. John and the defense minister agree immediately. At this moment, John has already finished writing the reset program in the factory. This kind of treasonous program cannot be stored anywhere securely, so he uploads it into his own brain. He also adds an additional layer of encryption. Next, he needs to fly to Elysium to hand over the program to the defense minister in person. But he doesn't know that Max and his gang have targeted him. Kruger is sent by the defense minister to reinforce the situation. Max obtains some weapons from the hacker, including improved rifles and shotguns. These guns can fire explosive rounds. His plan is straightforward. Shoot down John's spaceship, kill the robot guards, and steal the brain data. That's it. Max can't accomplish this alone, so the hacker sends some henchmen to accompany him. John's spaceship is quite valuable, elegant in appearance and luxurious in interior design. Just the paint is a lifetime income for a worker. So, he carries 2 robot bodyguards with him. Max attaches an explosive to his spaceship and detonates it after he has flown a distance. This way, the spaceship crashes into the wilderness, making it easy to rob. The spaceship has excellent shock absorption, and John is unharmed. He detects Max attempting to rob him and orders the robots to kill them. The defense minister also detects the robbery and sends Agent Kruger for reinforcement. Things are not going smoothly for Max. His rifle jams. But when it's fixed, the robots are reloading. Max immediately launches explosive rounds. These bullets explode in mid-air, destroying the robots into pieces. His accomplices use a laser cutter to extract John. John stares at Max, surprised that he is still alive. Unbeknownst to them, the tables have turned. Gunshots suddenly ring out. John's 2 robots are damaged, but only one is destroyed. Max has run out of explosive rounds, and his accomplices are firing regular bullets indiscriminately. Instead of harming the robots, they hit John. At this point, Max can only rely on his mechanical exoskeleton. It makes him agile like a bird, but powerful like heavy machinery. He uses a car as a pivot to break one of the robots. When Max turns around, he realizes that John has been shot in the crossfire. Luckily, the chest shot doesn't affect his brain. At this moment, a military aircraft appears in the sky. Kruger has arrived. They have to speed up the progress to complete the transfer. The data is protected, appearing as gibberish to them. They need to get back to the base to decrypt it. Teammates' hearts are scattered, fleeing for their lives, but they can't outrun the aircraft. One teammate is hit by Kruger's remote-controlled bombs. Knowing his imminent death, he stops and fights back. Once the detonation button is pressed, he is blown up. Max and the other teammates escape in a car. Kruger's aircraft bombs them. Kruger's aircraft keep chasing their car and bombs them. They are forced to stop and confront, but Kruger has a more advanced exoskeleton, capable of close combat and defense. He kills all the other teammates. Max is out of bullets. He can only fend off Kruger. His stomach is also stabbed, but he managed to escape. Without the exoskeleton's help, he will not be able to run at all. The Secretary of Defense monitors the whole process. The system indicates that John has died from blood loss, relieving her of a concern. But Max's brain still holds data for the system reset. She orders Kruger to retrieve it at any cost, but without damaging the brain. Max enters the slums seeking help, but he hurt really, really bad. Kruger's aircraft is closing in. An old lady, understanding what's happening, lets Max hide in her car. Kruger scans the street with infrared, suspecting the car. But seeing it's just a pig, he goes elsewhere to search. Max thanks the old lady and struggles to the hospital for help. His childhood friend Frey is a nurse there. She privately heals his wounds. Thanks to Max's childhood friend, Frey, a nurse who secretly treats his wounds. For years, Max has been pursuing Frey, but she has consistently rejected him. Today, Max finally knows why. Frey has a daughter with leukemia, so she has no time for love. Now, with her daughter in critical condition, Frey asks Max to take her to Elysium for treatment. Max sincerely wants to help, but he's being hunted by Kruger. He can't even save himself. He only can apologizes and leaves. Soon, Kruger locates Max by using drones. Max throws a stone to bring it down, but it still exposes his general location. Kruger and his team go there immediately and search thoroughly. They search the house one by one, and found blooded bandages in Frey's home. Kruger realizes he's helping Max. So, he takes her and her daughter on a space shuttle. Max escapes from pursuers and goes directly to find the hacker. The hacker is a code expert and is amazed when he sees the program. He knows this is a reboot program. It can overturn everything, making people on Earth become citizens. Hacker is willing to reboot the system on Elysium for justice. However, to prevent illegal entry, Elysium built a no-fly zone over Earth. They use signal interference to prevent ships from taking off. Hacker must first crack this no-fly zone, which takes about 5 days. Max says it's not possible because he won't survive for 5 days. He then considers surrendering to Kruger and using his space shuttle to fly to Elysium. It's a risky move, but he thinks that Kruger won't kill him as long as he has the program. At least not until they get the data. He presents a grenade in front of Agent Kruger, claiming he's going to Elysium. He threatens that any tricks will lead to mutual destruction. Agent Kruger eagerly takes him on the space shuttle. Frey is also on the space shuttle. Max rejected her just a few hours ago, so it's awkward. The space shuttle soon rushes into space. To allow them to enter the space station, the defense minister shut down the no-fly zone. Hacker immediately seizes this rare opportunity. He orders all his subordinates to get prepared and go to Elysium. This time, he is not doing it for money, but to liberate all the poor. Beneath the facade of self-interest, he has a noble heart. On Max's side, Agent Kruger's space shuttle approaches Elysium. Max is on high alert. After all, he's holding a grenade that will explode if released. Others keep their distance from him, but Kruger unexpectedly provokes him. During the scuffle, the grenade slides aside and blows up Agent Kruger's face. It also destroys the space shuttle, crash landing in a rich residential area. Frey immediately takes her daughter and leaves. She breaks into a rich person's house and uses the medbay without authorization. But this machine is only for Elysium citizens. Her daughter is not a citizen, so she is not eligible to use it. Before using it, she is captured by Kruger's henchmen. So do Max. The defense minister, knowing they've been found, orders the export of the reboot program. But it's an encrypted program. Forcefully downloading it will kill Max. But she doesn't care. The extraction process takes some time. Kruger's henchmen are busy with their tasks. Some of them move Agent Kruger into the medbay. His face is damaged, but his brain is fine, so he still can be saved. So they start rebuilding. Medbay quickly completes the reconstruction and healing of his face. He wakes up with lingering anger. At this point, the defense minister comes in to scold him, accusing him of causing too much commotion, almost exposing the coup plan. Agent Kruger says nothing, just looks in the mirror. Agent Kruger cries and laughs at the broken mirror, indicating his inner distortion. He turns and stabs the defense minister with a glass, announcing that he is taking over the coup and becoming the new president. The first step of the coup is to eliminate the old government officials. His henchmen immediately take action. Kruger's main mission is to take Max's reboot program. At this moment, Max is being tied up by researchers, preparing to forcibly extract the data. But they overlook Max's exoskeleton gives him immense strength. He uses his strength to break free and rescues Frey. At that moment, Kruger's henchman was harassing her. Max lifts the man and slams him down to kill him. Another henchman attacks, and Max uses the dead body as a shield. Later, Max takes out a powerful rifle. He shoots through the wall, turning the soldier into ashes. After rescuing Frey, Max instructs her to take her daughter for treatment. She mentions that her child doesn't have a citizen code. Max assures her that he has a solution. At this point, Hacker has successfully reached Elysium with his team. Max joins him at the control console. By downloading the reboot program to the console, they can grant Earthlings citizenship. Frey's daughter can also be saved. However, Kruger ambushes them in a corner. Suddenly, he throws explosive darts, killing one of his own teammates. Max retaliates by picking up the rifle, but Kruger has an energy shield that deflects the bullets. Max tries to close the gate to keep Agent Kruger outside, but he also has a mechanical exoskeleton and forcibly opens the gate. In an instant, he catches up. Kruger attacks Max with a katana, but Max blocks it with his mechanical arm, breaking the sword in two. They fight for a long time without a clear winner. After some thought, Max charges forward. In a somersault, he disconnects Kruger from the mechanical exoskeleton. The mechanical exoskeleton is powerful, but it will be completely useless without a connection. It will only become a burden. Kruger is now at a disadvantage. He ties himself to Max, intending to use a grenade killing all of them. Max forcefully breaks the connection. He pushes Kruger off a bridge, blowing himself up by triggering the explosion. Max looks back at Hacker. He has just successfully cracked the control console's gate. Hacker is initially excited, but after connecting to Max's brain, he freezes. Because he discovers, downloading the reboot program will kill Max. This kind of brain death is irreversible. Even Medbay cannot heal it. Max was prepared for this sacrifice before the journey began. He just wants to chat with Frey before he dies. When he was young and foolish, he promised to bring Frey to Elysium. Now, it's finally happening, but he won't be able to see her again. Meanwhile, the president has reached the control console, preparing to break in. Max has no time to say goodbye to Frey. He presses the data transfer button. The reboot program is successfully written into Elysium, but Max leaves the world in peace. 5 seconds later, Elysium completes a reboot, bringing Earthlings into citizenship. Frey does nothing. Medbay automatically healed her daughter. The incurable disease on Earth is instantly cured here. At the president's side, 2 military robots arrive for reinforcement. They disarm the president, who orders them to arrest Hacker, but they don't respond, because Hacker has become a legal citizen. Hacker rebels, announcing that Elysium belongs to everyone from today onwards. Countless medical ships are heading towards Earth, because according to regulations, Elysium will unconditionally assist every citizen when they are sick. Max ultimately couldn't cure his radiation sickness, but cured billions of patients on Earth. Children running freely, like Max in his childhood. When they grow up, Earth will also become a true Elysium. Here's come to an end of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching Happy Movie.